second, George is going to read out a speech that was prepared by his proposer.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the features So Scarlett said, I honestly cannot think of anyone better to do this role than the lovely Louis. As an employee of the Stag's Head, I've seen him as a supervisor and how brilliantly he handles situations. For example, not only is he supportive to the staff he's working with, but he's also always asking how you are, or thinking of fun games to play, as well as super friendly to customers, i.e. you lot. Louis would make a great bar steward because he's truly a great guy. I've never felt embarrassed to approach Louis about anything and truly believe everyone else feels the same. This approachability will make him a great bar steward as I know present and future staff.
You get a minute.
Oh shit, you get a minute, carry on.
Thank you. This approachability will make him a great bar steward, as I know present and future staff will feel more than comfortable working at the Stag's Head. Louis' organisation skills still to this day surprise me. I've never met anyone who is as involved in uni and college societies and managed a degree and still be so caring and considerate about others and still smile. Louis, you're truly an amazing friend, and I know Collingwood would be very lucky to have you. Please vote Louis for bar steward. Who doesn't want him to have another year? I second this, Andy.
Hi everyone, I'm Louis, I'm a third year philosophy student, and I would love to be your next bar steward. So some of you might be wondering why it is I'm wearing a suit and some shorts, and that's because I believe this represents what the role of bar steward is. It is a balance between work and play, professionalism and having fun with the role. And someone who I think has nailed that balance this year is Josh McDonough, who's been an excellent bar steward. And as an incoming bar steward, you would be silly not to build upon what he's already done and improve upon it. So one of the things, in a more practical sense, which he's done really well, is an anonymous feedback system for the staff. That's allowed him to make lots of really valuable improvements to the bar, so I'll continue with that. Also this year, he introduced Barfest, which was a great success, and I will aim to continue that, improve it, and build on it. And one of the ways I'll do this is by utilising all the new spaces we'll have in college next year. And that is really going to be one of the biggest challenges actually as bar steward next year. We'll be utilising and adapting to having all these new spaces. So for Barfest, I aim to look at what we have in terms of the bar and the new JTR and the theatre, and think about how we can use these new spaces to expand the amount of maybe guest sales we have in, or the amount of entertainment we have going on. And similarly, that applies to Collingwood Day too. So if you read my manifesto, you'll know that my plans for Collingwood Day are to have a main stage in the meadow like normal, and that'll be where we have all the main acts. As well as that, I'll put a TP-style tent on the croquet lawn for acoustic acts, so if anyone's got it a bit wrong or needs a more chilled vibe, they can go there. And then in the theatre, I'd like to have a silent disco, which would showcase all the DJs and kind of house and EDM music, which I know a lot of Durham people are into, so that'll be for that. So why me? I've got a lot of experience in the bar. I've been here for 2 years working and been supervisor for 1.5 years, so I know all the ins and outs of it. And in terms of working with college, I was senior rep around Freshers Week this year, so I know all the college staff really well and know how to get things done and make a change when changes need to happen. So please vote for me. I'd love to be your next bar steward. Thanks very much.
Questions for Louis? Will?
It says in your manifesto that you want to change the college drink. What's wrong with the current one and what would you change it to?
So, I would probably first of all start out with a poll. I personally just don't like it, but I'm actually not much of an alcoholic, so maybe that's why. I think, I just asked generally on the question page. If you've got a great response, then I'll keep it. If not, then I would just go about thinking about something to change it to. Might take a cocktail class or something if I'm feeling fancy.
Lucy.
So we currently the best bar is the best college bar in Durham. How do you propose to get that again?
So the hardest bit I think will be maintaining that with a bigger bar, because a bigger bar means it's much harder to run it well. So if you don't know, all of this space here is going to be included in the bar. That's all getting knocked through. we've got the conservatory, and the JCR is also going to be a space which people can bring drinks to. So I think as long as I can get it right in terms of managing and training the staff to adapt to those new spaces and to carry on with all the good practices that Josh put in place, I don't see why we wouldn't get that award again.
Woo! James?
As a self-confessed bit of a real ale nerd, I mean, in terms of ales like beers, if you could add another one to the bar, or what would it be? And or how would you get more kind of beers to the massive selection there is already?
So I know nothing about beer. I don't drink it. So I'd probably go to ale nerds such as yourself and ask what sort of things you'd be interested in. I know that we do have a lot of flexibility in terms of talking to Kate, so Matt, who'd be my line manager, he said there's lots of flexibility in things I can put on and take off. So I'll probably just ask around, see what people want, try it out for a month. If it does sell, keep it. If it doesn't, get rid of it. And I know it's very easy to bring things in and get rid of things, so try to be on a people want it, people don't want it kind of basis.
Chris?
As a successful and talented musician, I'm sure you're looking to capitalise on your recent success. How can you assure your voters this job will remain your focus?
An excellent point. So I won't have a degree to do, which will help out massively, obviously. And I think as bar steward, it is quite hard to escape the role when you live in college. You're always there. And one of the things, the balance, which although it was kind of a joke, it's something which I do take very seriously, because this year Josh really struck a good balance between being down in the bar, socialising here and being a space that was seen here, but also running the bar really well, but then also having some time to himself, because you can't immerse yourself in the bar completely. And I shouldn't be put. So, yeah, I think I would just really manage my time well and make sure that I'm always down here as much as I need to be so that people see me as someone who's working for the bar.
Rob?
What do you think you'll find most difficult as bar steward? And how do you think you will deal with it?
I mean, my lack of knowledge of alcohol could be an issue. I don't really know much about it, and I am running the place which sells it. But I don't think that's too much of an issue, really. I mean, otherwise, I think most of the qualities which I have are very positive for the bar. I don't think it's just Harry Haggard, isn't it? No, I'm not going to say that. I honestly just think I would do a really good job, and I would always work to improve. I'm a good listener, so if anyone did ever come to me with anything which they thought could improve, I would change it.
Josh?
My question is which flavour?
I like black cherry, but there's apple and mango and strawberry and lavender. People can't see. I'm a big BK fan. Do I shoot right now? Are we going to have a... Yeah? Are we having a boat race?
Which?
Okay. Apple and mango.
Yeah, you've got to do both.
The live stream.
Did you do this beforehand? Or?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit, and you he's fucking the gap up.
I'm not doing it, I'm just helping Brett.
How would you assure the JCR will be different?
As in, how would I ensure that I don't dislike the JCR?
How that you won't develop a disdain for the JCR?
Oh, okay. Well, I really like it at the moment. I don't really see that changing. I enjoy being on exec, actually, and I enjoy having a say in what happens. I mean, the bar, although the bar steward isn't a student, he's still just as much a part of the JCR because the bar is such an essential place for all the students. So, even if I did somehow develop a disdain for it, I would kind of be professional and not really let it show because it shouldn't be conducive to people enjoying themselves at the bar.
Any other questions? Are you going to pull out more VKs?
No. Seriously.
Josh?
So obviously, as a member of staff, you're friends with all the staff and you get on with them. It's more of a relaxed environment. Going from member of staff to bar steward, you then become their line manager. At times, you've got to have serious conversations. How do you think you'll handle that?
I think I've handled it pretty well. As senior frep, this is probably the best experience I can draw from. Most of the freps in that role were my friends, but there are quite a few cases where I did have to kind of discipline someone when they'd done something wrong, or if they weren't working well with another member of the team or anything like that. And when that happened, I had no issues just telling them, this is what's up and this is what you need to change. I tended to do it in a way that I would try and get out of them to kind of come to the realisation of what they were doing was wrong, because that's often better than just telling them to their face. But were it to happen, I would just do it.
And we'll take one more question. Any more questions? Oh, we don't need one more.